The DNA of an organism is like a blueprint. It carries our genetic codes for all skin cells. So when a person commits a crime, they leave tiny bits of themselves, which can be used to create a profile because everyone has their unique genetic code. During the old days, if a witness testified to a suspect, they could be wrong, but DNA doesn't guess. If the suspect DNA matches the one at the crime scene, it is almost absolute they were there, and this has been used through the Innocent Project to free over 300 innocent people. But what makes this even more harder than it looks on TV show is secondary transfer. Imagine you sit on a bus and then a criminal sits right after you stand up. Your DNA might get on their clothes, and when they commit a crime, your DNA could eventually end up at the crime scene. As we get better at catching criminals, are we accidentally putting everyone's privacy on the line? You see, classical forensic DNA testing concentrates on STRs, short, stand and repeat. Think of them as your unique barcode. If your DNA isn't already in the system, there's no direct match and no easy way to find you. But now, detectives used a more comprehensive method called SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphism. So instead of looking for an exact match, this approach basically looks for people who share small pieces of DNA with you. These pieces can be used to build a reverse family tree, cancelling out thousands of chances down to a single person. And now, law enforcement can now upload crime scene DNA to public genealogy websites, such as GenomeLink. Basically a website where people find their ancestry. So if there is no direct match, the system might still find someone who shares enough DNA, probably like a second cousin. Investigators then study that person's family tree, their siblings, parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents. They collect details like age, gender, and location until one likely suspect remains. But here's the catch. You might choose not to take a DNA test because you value your privacy. But if your sibling, cousin, or even that relative you've never met uploads your DNA, you are already part of the system, whether you like it or not. We are so different, yet connected by a genetic network. And as that network expands, the line between solving crimes and protecting personal privacy gets harder to define. Your DNA is the most private thing you own. It contains spoilers for your future, like whether you're likely to get Alzheimer's or cancer. There's a law in the US called GINA, Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act. It says your boss can fire you because your DNA says you might get sick later in the future. And it still tells you insurance can't charge you more because of your genes. But GINA actually doesn't cover everything. If you apply for life insurance, the company might ask for your DNA results. If they see you have a gene for a severe illness, they can legally refuse to cover you or even charge you a larger amount of money. When you split into a tube for a private company, you often sign a long contract. Sometimes those companies sell synopses of that data to drug companies, though your name is usually removed. Some experts still worry that people could eventually be re-identified. Some police use a tool called phenotyping, also known as molecular photo fitting. Think of it as a digital illustrator. The computer looks at the DNA and say, this person likely has dimples, freckles, green eyes, and blonde hair. The physical appearance created is what the police then target. This method is actually great, but if the computer is slightly off, or probably the suspect dyed their hair or had a plastic surgery, the police might bypass the real criminal because they don't look like the genetic fraud. In most countries, you need a warrant to search someone's house, but the police need a warrant to search your genetic data on a public website. And then there's genetic surveillance. In many places, if you're arrested, even if you're innocent, hours later evicted, the police still keep your DNA profile in their system forever. But the question is, if the government basically keeps a permanent database of everyone's DNA, could that data be used for more than just solving crime? Could it be used for insurance discrimination or even to track political rebels? The question for 2026 isn't if we can use DNA to solve crimes, but how do we use it without losing rights to remain genetically silent?